The most typical question asked about the gap is, what is it? So we typically have to do some education as to what the significance of the gap is, because it's a geological formation as well as an American Indian site of significance.
The Parowan Gap means a lot of things to a lot of different people. Again, the archaeologists are seeking out the knowledge of the petroglyphs. The geologists, they come here because the geological structure here is so unique. You know, the paleontologists come here for the dinosaur tracks. The Parowan Gap is so much more than that. This was a place of knowledge and wisdom. You know, this was basically, you would come here just like you would go to school and have the teachers teach you, you would come here.
It's a regular scientific whodunit and why done it.
It's a very important place. And it's a very religious place.
The thing that's most rewarding about these sites is that you do get to contact and look into the soul and spirit of these people. And you are, especially at a site like this. This one is very enchanted. It has many wonderful things. We come to understand it as being profoundly significant and near and dear to those people. As we understand it, it regains value. It isn't just graffiti. Clifford Duncan said, if you make a petroglyph on the rock, it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of artistry.
Several of the men made friends with the Paiutes, and the Paiutes took him out to the Gap. And the Paiutes explained to him that it was a sacred site, and they referred to it as God's own house.
It is part of our heritage. It's not just a Native American heritage. It's a heritage of all of us.
There were people there before. They left these markings for a reason. Some of them seem very utilitarian, but some of them could have been for very different reasons.
Our dad taught us right from the very beginning that it's another form of writing. And so every chance he got, he would show us, or we'd be out at a site and he'd show us what this meant, and that everything was based on sign language. And sign language is how they put their pictures on rocks, was through a sign.
There's a profile of the overseer, and he has a mouth. Only on the 6th, 7th, and 8th, if you're standing in the right spot, it comes into his mouth, and it sits, and it sits, and sits, and sits. And then all of a sudden he goes, and it's gone. He has swallowed the sun. And which now tells the people that the summer sun has gone into its winter home. If they have not prepared for winter, they better be moving south, because if winter is not there already, it is going to be there quick.
It's a historical record. It's a record of the people that once lived in the area. Of course, there's a lot of mystery to it. We don't know what all the writings mean. There's a lot of different interpretations to them. But one thing is for sure is that there was a people that lived in this area. They were there before any of us were here. They knew how to use the land. They knew how to survive in the land. And there's always something that we can learn.
Long-term preservation is exactly the word. As you know, the road goes right through the middle of the gap. At some point, that road needs to be moved so that the site can be preserved. More interpretive information at the site is needed. I would hope to see a developed trail system taking in the cairns. And I'd like to see more of the Paiute tribe and the Hopi tribe have more of a presence there so that their story is for sure told.
The BLM, they can't be here all the time to watch this place and that, so it's just the way it is now. Later on, there ain't gonna be nothing here yet. And that's the only thing we got to prove that the Indian people were in this area.
We have come to focus on education. And to some extent that is an extremely effective tool. Particularly if we can get at the kids.
So we try to get them interacting and involved with the petroglyphs. And then we talk about, if you're out here with your families, have fun, but don't be pushing the rocks around.
But there are, I think maybe the road is something that needs to be looked at pretty closely.
Big trucks are gonna be coming through here. And then it's gonna start to move the mountain. And it's gonna start coming down.
The preservation of the gap is fundamentally centered in preventing any kind of further damage. People should not be allowed to climb on the rocks, all right? It's not a place for rock climbing. Secondly, education for the people to understand the significance and meaning and the value of it, and that this is very sacred to a certain segment of our population, and it should not be destroyed, and it should not be thought as being funny or quaint. Third is to have a site presence, people who care and want the site to be preserved and is properly protected. As fourth, maybe the road needs to be moved. It's a vital highway to that part of Utah, and it could be moved and go around the gap.
We just hope that people just will be respectful, just to know. And I mean, everybody knows in their heart, what's right and what's wrong. Just have to obey that.
Quilma, quilma, quilmana, quilma, quilma, quilmana, yana yo, yana yo, quilmana, yana yo, yana yo, quilmana, quilma, quilma, quilmana, quilma, quilma, quilmana, yana yo, yana yo, quilmana, yana